to the No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
No Practice Podcast people, welcome to episode 33. We are here. I am joined by Adam Kester. If Chase misses too many more shows, we're going to cut him out of the intro and get rid of him altogether. But nonetheless, a little bit of a schedule change up. More on that later. We are back. Adam, it's good to be back. How are you doing this evening?
Not too bad. Got me a little champagne.
Champagne, huh?
Yeah. Just enjoying the night here and ready to be back at the podcast.
Well, what do you think? Is Chase going to be joining us tonight?
Who cares?
I kind of miss having him. My board back here of the Chase Interrupts is kind of slipping by the wayside, and it's not seeing much use without him here. So
I got a feeling he's going to interrupt us at some point in time.
Yes, as annoying as he can be at sometimes, I'll be honest, I kind of miss him. I was hoping to get the band back together. Yeah,
we'll have to hear some radio checks, make sure his mic's working. If he's doing good, that'll be all live for everybody here. Hey, do I look good on here? I just got out of the shower.
That is hair. Always what he's worried about. Typically, if he joins ahead of time, he's typically asking us, do I look good? Does my hair look right? So and so might be watching. I want to make sure I'm not looking stupid tonight. He's very concerned about that.
Yeah, and he's also concerned about when we ask, hey, who's that in the background? Nobody. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he doesn't like to talk about that, does he? A man of many mysteries, for sure, no question. I
think he's slowly trying to divert the attention to Donald. Donald seems like a more a little bit easier of a target to be friendly. So looks like they're getting a lot of traction with the Donald on the UD Motorsports.
Yeah, Donald is a lovable character for sure, and I'm glad he's finally getting the exposure he deserves for sure. Adam, yes, I heard you were getting some work done to your tractors. You've got an empty shop right now. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true. I have I'm building. We had pretty good success last year with that new tractor we had, so I dove back into being an idiot for another year and had 2 more built, so we'll have 3 again next year. But they're getting very close to being done. Pay attention to Facebook and some other things, the podcast, and maybe I'll update on everybody on the new looks of things. We're totally doing a totally new look for the whole paint schemes on the tractor, so it should be pretty interesting.
Okay, so the red one and the blue one have been sent down the road, and the new tractor that you had last year, you're gonna have 2 more similar to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna join the rest of the guys with the modern machine chassis, getting the new airbag front ends, and hopefully they perform as good as the other one did. The idea was to build 2 new ones, and eventually when I want to get rid of one, I get rid of the one that doesn't match. So I still have one for sale, folks. I'm cutting a pretty good deal on it. There's a lot of stuff there for the money, and make a great regional tractor. It would make even a good Grand National tractor. There's really nothing wrong with it.
Which one is still for sale?
So we sold the black one first last year, and I sold the blue one right as the season ended, and I still have the red one available. So it won 1 pull last year at Benson. So it's not like the thing's not competitive. So these tractors are pretty expensive. This is more than half of a brand new one. So anybody interested, hit me up on Facebook or whatnot, and I'll be sure to work you out. We're talking rolling chassis, tire with wheels, weights, cables. You put an engine driveline in it, or I might even have something. So We do have bell housings and what stuff for sale.
Sell it turn.
I'll be willing to help in
Yeah,
turnkey.
how much turnkey?
That's a loaded question because I don't know that I want to get rid of my old raggedy engines. I do build new ones all the time.
How much turnkey with a brand new motor?
I would say, to be fair, for the age of the chassis, probably 125,000.
Turnkey, ready to hit the track. Everything's on there.
It's a brand new motor in it.
Okay. Well, there you go. For somebody out there thinking about getting into it, just over 6 figures,
Right.
and you can be hitting the track, ready to roll.
Yeah, and that's with spare set of tires too.
What kind of tires are we talking?
So-
Are we talking old ones, new ones?
No, they're new tires that have been seasoned. I know they work good.
Okay.
So there's a lot of life left on them. There's more than enough weight on the tractor. Just for personal reasons, I decided to switch. But be a good unit.
For sure. Well, I suppose I can get to the inevitable and talk about what's going on with Mr. Farmer Bruce. The reason we didn't get together a week ago. We see somebody asking there. Not last Thursday, but the Thursday before, my dad was up in the UP snowmobiling with his buddy Jason. And I was at work in the afternoon and I got a call from Jason, and I know Jason well, but he wouldn't just randomly call me and say, "Hey, we're having a good snowmobile trip." And so I instantly said to somebody at my work, I'm like, I don't like the feeling of that, because I picked it up and it was just silence on the other end. And I know service is pretty crappy up there. And about, 15, 20 minutes went by and I got a call from, hey, Chase, how are you doing?
Got interrupted by Chase. You might as well
Yeah.
put that damn thing.
I really
up
missed
there.
you guys.
This is the first time ever just your appearance has earned you an interruption.
No better way to say I miss you and I love you than hearing it from you two in your own ways. I'm really sorry. Hit a traffic jam, got pulled over by a cop, saved a cat from a burning house, and helped someone across the road. That's why I'm late. So really apologize.
Okay.
Is that 2 truths and 1 lie?
Damn.
Because it sounds like it.
I really just wanted to tell both of you.
Speechless.
I really wanted to tell you all something in a really non-family way, but I'm going to wait till after this show's over and just share that. But it's great to be back. I'm sorry I'm late.
Are you changing genders?
No,
I
the
am in
tax money
Miami.
got
I am in
covered.
Miami currently, and I've seen shit that you wouldn't think is possible. But no, we're nothing but
On the straight and
nothing but
narrow, huh?
forward in 2025. You leave me speechless. It's been a month since we've been together. Where were we? What did I walk into?
Not us. Me and Tyler were together a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. So I don't know about you.
Well, Chase, you just interrupted the most sincere story I've ever told on here in my life about
Were you
my
tearing up?
father getting into his accident. So no, I wasn't tearing up. So anyway,
Carry
he was going snowmobiling. I had a missed call from the guy he was with, or picked up the call, but I couldn't hear him. And then about, 15, 20 minutes later, I got a call from my dad's cell phone. And the person on the other end was not my father. And they said, "Is this Tyler?" And I could hear sirens in the background of the ambulance. And he said, "Is this Tyler?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And he's like, "Well, I just wanted you to know that your dad was in a really bad snowmobile accident and we're currently heading to the hospital." And I'm like, "Well, is he awake? Can I talk to him?" And they're like, "No, you can't currently talk to him." And I'm like, "Well, what hospital are you taking him to?" And they said they're taking him to Marquette Hospital, which unfortunately is like 7 hours away from where I live. And I said, "Well, is he going to be all right?" And the guy kind of paused and he said, "Hopefully, but you might want to get up here." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a great feeling, right?"
Just what you want to hear. Right?
The most miserable 7 hours of your life. until you get there.
Yeah. So Courtney and I loaded up in the truck and we drove up there. And what ended up happening is he was standing up on a snowmobile and he hit a bump and it kind of pitched the back of the snowmobile to the left, and that hit the ground and he flew over the handlebars and landed on the trail. And the snowmobile went barreling down the trail and it kind of went on top of him as it went past him. And it kind of landed on his, we suspect, back rib cage. And it broke 11 of his 12 ribs on his one side, a couple on the right side. broke his shoulder, broke his collarbone, punctured his spleen. I mean, roughed him up bad, and they had to call a van with tracks to come get him off the trail, to get him to the road, to get him in the ambulance, to take him to the hospital. So we drove up there. We hung out with him for several days, and finally he got a flight to Grand Rapids Hospital, Butterworth, which is our home hospital about 20 minutes away from our house. And so he's still in there. They moved him out of the ICU last night, kind of same floor, different room. He's still in rough shape, but he's going to make it. So they were able to plate a couple of his ribs. They were able to screw his collarbone back together. A couple of his ribs they couldn't plate because they're so close to his spine in the back there. And some of the ribs are even broken in multiple spots. So I can't even begin to list off the amount of people that have reached out with thoughts and prayers and kind words. So I'm not going to say any names because I would surely forget somebody, because it's in the hundreds for sure. So that is the Bruce update. He's going to be all right. He's going to make it. We're thankful to still have him. But he's hurting, and I'll honestly be surprised if he's in a pulling vehicle this summer at this point. So, yeah.
So when all this stuff is going on, you mentioned that they had to bring a van with tracks on it to come get him. I mean, how long did that take?
They said it was probably 2 hours before. I don't know if it was 2 hours before they got him into an ambulance or 2 hours from the point of the accident to getting him to the hospital. So
was he unconscious or anything?
Talking to Jason, he said that like after it happened, he was kind of like talking to my dad, like, "Oh, what do you need? What do you need?" And he said like minutes would go by and he wouldn't even answer him. And finally, he just kind of like motioned to Jason in by his helmet and said, "I can't get out of here." And he's like, "Okay, I'm calling 911." So. Yeah, the whole debacle of him trying to call 911 and like them not being able to hear him, and eventually they just pinged his location off of his cell phone and sent somebody there, thankfully. So,
this is
good thing somebody was with him.
It's not the first thing you want to ask someone when you hear this news. And I know I called Bruce just on pure accident. I don't say accident, but I had no idea this is going on, and he answered. I'm sure he didn't remember answering, but you could tell like something wasn't right. This is after he's in the hospital. But my first my brain was, okay, you have this snowmobile wreck, you're in the UP, far from civilization. How the hell there's probably not cell phone service. How did they even get to him? So now that he's going to be okay and make it out of it, it's really a curiosity thing from my standpoint. Like, how does that even work? But you kind of just said it. So
yeah, it's not ideal. It's a bad situation, but anybody that knows him knows he rides incredibly hard, probably harder than he should at times, clearly. But for all the miles he puts on, I guess we're blessed that he got into an accident that still left him with us. So he is like,
absolutely,
he's mentally all there, So I would think this summer when you see him, he'll be a little sore. He'll probably be moving slow. He's got a long road to recovery in front of him, but I mean, he's going to make it. So I'm got that to be thankful for.
But Bruce, I know he's going to try to prove everyone wrong on his recovery time too, once he's able to get to that point. So he'll be telling all of us how quickly he's going to be back. So can't wait for that.
So the question for you, Tyler, is when I lost my dad, I honestly thought to myself, like, how the hell am I going to do this? Because he's a very big part of you guys' operation. It's basically just you and him. I mean, you got some friends that help and stuff, but be ready for the challenge. Because I don't think he's going to be. You get to cut 2 sets of tires now, which you may or may not.
No, I didn't normally. Our tire program was specifically I take care of mine and he takes care of his. So
you work together as a team, but you kind of do your own things in a way to where you have ideas that you do on yours. He does stuff on his, and gotcha. So is he going to make you do what his setup says and then do what you got to do on yours, or are you just going to try to set them up both same?
I don't know. That's hard to even fathom him being argumentative and staunch about pulling setup right now, because the man can hardly even feed himself right now. So it's hard to think about that, but it is funny how these situations happen, and like you're almost like, maybe I shouldn't bitch quite so much, and maybe I shouldn't be so stubborn towards him. So I would say when this summer rolls around, I'll be a little bit more lenient to being like, okay, You got it, Dad.
You'll happily you'll happily do whatever he tells you to do to his tractor.
Yeah, I think so. That the thought of that is welcomed compared to sitting in a hospital for 13 days straight. This is the first day I haven't gone to see him and sat with him for 4 or 5 hours. So there's plenty of other people up there sitting with him, and I needed a day off and a sense of normalcy. So here we are, my golly.
So on a previous episode of the podcast, you mentioned that your homeless look led you into a hospital which you thought you had an infected leg and you needed to get it worked on. You told us the story how you got all discombobulated, hot and sweaty, and passed out.
Gets across the
Yes. There's something in my
so how did that
something
work
in my brain called vasovagal syncope, also known as being a bitch, which means when you're in that environment, my body just passes out because it doesn't like its surroundings. And unfortunately, that did happen once while we were up in the UP. I thankfully just made my way into a chair and passed out in the chair and woke up, with my mouth hanging open, drooling a little bit because I lost consciousness. So, yeah, for those that didn't hear that first episode when I talked about that, needles creep me out and they make me want to pass out. So I see my sister commenting there that Bruce is watching right now. So, hi, Dad. There you have it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Anyway. Not to get sappy and talk about sad, heartwarming things on this show, but that's the reality.
This is why this show's what it is. We don't. There's nothing off the table whenever we're talking. And life is life, and it's. Honestly, we talked internally about some stuff. We're like, let's just wait, just talk about it on the show because these are things we want to ask you. And most important thing is Bruce is going to be all right. So, and Bruce, we're having plenty of drinks for you there. I know they don't serve alcohol in the hospital, but we'll be sure to consume on your behalf tonight, just in case you wanted to hear that. As he waves hello, we see.
Yes. I think they're giving him some things that have numbed him up far more than what beverages can handle, for sure. So, but that's not the only exciting person to go for a ride lately. I hear we also have somebody that we're going to talk to this evening that went for a wild ride recently as well. And joining us there is Joe and Dave Lacey. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
Doing great.
Doing great. Where are you joining us from? That looks like a very nice office setting you've got there.
This is our shop office for the farm and stuff. So I did it in the house. The dogs be barking, carrying on, so that'd be more quieter out here.
I must say, it looks very sophisticated. It's a nice.
Actually, an old chicken.
We don't have dogs. We don't have dogs. We got Adam and Tyler, so it's. So,
well, I don't know if one of them's a German Shepherd and a Golden Retriever, so take your pick.
Cool.
Very nice. Well, yeah. I guess we'll watch the video if our backstage has this ready of what happened here, and talk us through what happened here, Dave.
This is last Saturday, right?
They were working on the sled before they take off here.
Yeah, so right there you do your normal run. And we were just doing a test pass in this tractor, and obviously you can see the number 8 cylinder was misfiring. We found out later on that the plug wire wasn't in all the way. Burn off.
But
so how long is that tractor?
And this is in Ocala, Florida, right?
Yeah. About 280 feet with the Mini.
So obviously we see you.
Okay, so right about here, about 3/4 of the way, halfway down the track, I mean, you get out of this thing. I mean, where did you know?
Well, you get halfway down the track, as you guys know, when you can feel a change. It's not really lugging down or slowing down at all. Like you're doing 32, 33 mile an hour down the track, and you're not slowing down at all. So I was thinking, like, what the fuck is going on? So that cylinder misfiring probably had a good decision to slow down. So I let out of it and it just started coasting and coasting, like it wasn't slowing down at all. So I started thinking to myself, like, I got a matter of seconds here to figure out what the fuck to do, because I don't want to run in this thing and have the sled behind me push me into it and fucking fill the motor full of sand and everything on a fresh build. So at the last second, I decided to turn it, and the worst thing it could do is bend a wheelie bar, which it actually never did. Yeah.
Or flip it over.
Knock on wood, I haven't done that yet, like Tyler.
Right.
No, so the only thing it did was bend the spindle on the front end of the tractor, and the tire kind of popped the bead. But other than that, we cleaned it back up and made a good run on Saturday night. Ended up winning it.
I got to ask, Dave, did you lock
Yeah.
your brakes up at all?
I did slowly, but I put more pressure on the right-hand side. I know, just to
turn it?
react. Yeah.
That's pretty heads-up driving. That's really not a fortunate situation, but it was cool to watch you drive.
You stay in that thing a couple seconds later, you're definitely going through that sand pile, whether you're going through it sideways.
Oh, for sure.
or
Yeah,
forwards.
like the safety belts would have really hurt your chest. Fucking stopping dead like that.
For sure.
So what ended up being the issue? What ended up being the issue with the sled? I mean, the box came
We talked
forward.
to Jeff, the sled operator, later on that night, and he said he has 3 switches in that mini sled, and he only has 2 in his big sled. So the one switch, whatever it does, it lifts up the back of the sled to put pressure in the pan. He forgot to turn it on.
They were working on the sled before Dave taken off, and they had these little pressure switches. They were trying to figure it out, and they thought they had it, but apparently they didn't.
What did they have for a driver?
Yeah, everyone hates being a guinea pig on an indoor track. I've seen so many tractors hit the sand pile at Louisville, and it just wrecks so much shit. So,
yeah, you got to watch out. Not only does sucking it into the blower or anything but you get sand packed in between that belt and that crank. The crank pulley there, the bottom pulley. You can break a crankshaft. I've seen it done.
So just
because it's packing the dirt in there and it has to push something out of the way.
So just for context, that was not during an actual event. That was an exhibition before an event started.
it was just a test run to see if the sled was working, and we wanted to try something.
Did you learn anything?
Don't do that again. Don't be the first person on the trial.
Yeah. Dave,
come to think of it, I don't know that I've ever had the sled malfunction like that on me. So I don't know what I would do. You have to think really quick. And obviously you're a good driver. You know what the hell you're doing.
Well,
you got her woed down.
I think I've had. Would you agree, Dave, that that's probably what happened to me at that region pull where something squirrely happened? Right? I mean,
yep.
Yeah.
No, like that orange sled, you guys don't pull it much, but it's got a special place in the pulling world, and I got it figured out. But that power sled, I'm still trying to learn. But it is a nice sled.
I think the last time I ran it, about killed myself on it.
So David, for those that aren't aware, you guys are from Canada. You're doing some winter pulling. When's the next time we'll see you out?
We're going to be in that pull in Fruitland Parks, Florida. Then we'll stay for 10 days and go to the one in Arcadia.
All this is in Florida?
Yep. Then we're going to go back in April and go to the one in Jacksonville. We're going to do the whole PPL.
That's a new event, though, right? That's a new one?
Arcadia and Fruitland Parks is new for this year.
How far of a drive is it from where you're at in Canada down there to Florida?
To the north part of Florida. Dad went down there Saturday. The week before the pull, he made it down there in 18 hours.
And that's here.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah. 18 hours.
Did you just get to fly in like a big shot, Dave?
I sure did.
How nice was that?
That's nice. We'll be a few of us.
What kind of weather did you drive through? I mean, obviously, we've gotten a lot of snow around here. How's the weather been
Never stopped raining
through that drive?
It rained hard all the way down there. That truck and 4-wheel drive, and wipers on high all the way down. And we have fuel taken back in Dave's truck, so I put fuel on it, stopped at the rest stop, put fuel in it, had a leak, put death in it, and kept on going. But I was soaked when I got back in the truck.
Yeah, you left at like 4 in the morning. You made it down by like 9 at night.
No, I was there at 8. I was at Rodney. I said 8 o'clock.
You've been taking them road aspirins or something.
Out of all these,
go ahead, Tyler.
Out of all the destinations in Florida that you go to for pulling, what's the favorite place you go to outside of the event? Where if somebody goes down to Florida, they gotta stop in at what establishment?
Actually, when we were down there, Shannon Leisner took us to Joe Ader's little restaurant he's got down there.
Oh yeah,
we were right there now.
Yep,
Joe Ader met us at the Don Garland's Race Museum, which is worth checking out.
Yeah, I've been there. It's very cool.
Yeah, it is. A lot of reading. So Joe Ader met us there. Then we followed him down to his restaurant and checked it out. That's definitely worth going to if you're down that area. And,
I'd love to put one of Joe's sausages in my mouth. I've heard great.
He's a big dude. him.
Big hands,
Yeah,
big
this went from a
hands.
somber show to I don't know what they call it show with those type of comments. Joe and Dave, a few of us are going pulling in Florida next weekend at Satsuma. If y'all are down, come on down and run. I think that's the February 8th and 9th. Have y'all pulled there before?
No, never. I've heard about
Yeah, I
it.
think there's a handful of us going down. So if you're down, did you leave your stuff there? Or did you go home?
We left it down there. Then Dad and I and my wife flew back home out of Orlando.
Gotcha. Well, come on down a couple weeks early. We'll all be there. We'll drink some Canadian beer.
I don't know if you can handle our beer.
Well, I know. That's why I said I'll try.
You just going for the one pull.
I can tell you, just don't drink. What is it? What did I drink up there at St. Hyacinth?
Molson Export.
Is it Labatt?
Yeah.
Or is it
Yeah.
Molson? Or
Well,
LeBlanc,
while we have
or
you on here,
LeBlanc,
what's your all's beer
Blue?
of choice? Joe and Dave both.
Bush. I'm actually finding a cold right now, so
Bush
Oh, you're
Light. Hell
American.
yes.
Or you're kind of American.
usually Bush or Bud Light.
No, yeah, American. It says Canadian Dry on it. What the hell are
I
you
thought you
saying,
said Bush
boy?
Light. Cool.
All right, guys.
Gentlemen,
Oh yeah. this
Before
is
you go,
good.
we're having Tom LaRue on next. What's one question you want us to ask him?
Tom?
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's a Canadian rascal as well.
Should we ask him? Should we ask him? Is he a fan of French
Yeah.
Canadians?
No.
Ask him how he likes sleeping over at Chad Mayhill's house one time this year.
Okay, that's perfect. That's all we need right there.
Yeah, he does the whole circuit. Goes down there, goes to Chaz, and he goes to
SSI.
SSI, then he
Uh,
seen John Card,
And what's the guy that does the bell housing? Brian Brow.
bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
I
whole-
heard there's a lot. I heard there.
He wanted.
Go ahead.
And Brian Bro actually,
Go ahead. I was just gonna say he wanted to stop. He wanted to stop by and stay at our house for a week, and I was like, "Oh, this should be interesting." He ended up having he had something else to do.
That's probably best
whatever.
for your liver.
yeah, but Chaz said he was up and gone. He got up early in the morning,
Yeah.
said gone, so didn't even see him leave.
I've heard a couple of those people. I won't disclose their names that said, "Thank God he's gone." So
No,
Well, all right, gentlemen.
Dave,
Thank you so much for joining us. We're,
great job driving in that incident, and
Yes.
we'll see you all out sometime.
So you guys going down there for the rest of the polls or just the one poll?
I'm going. I don't think the two above me want to go run, or Tyler's got more going on. I don't know what Adam's doing, but
I don't even have a tractor.
yeah,
I don't even
he's
have a
always
tractor
got
to
something
take
going
there.
on, Joe. But I'm just going to go for that one weekend, and the farm show we're running the next week, so we'll go back home and then see what we have running after that.
Yeah, we're going to the farm show here in a couple weeks here down to Louisville.
Cool. Well, definitely look us up. We might be doing some podcasting there nearby. We don't know yet, but we'll definitely drink some Canadian beer if we cross paths.
Sounds
We
good.
can find some. So thank you
We'll
guys
have
for joining
some
us. Good to
for
see
you,
you. Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you guys. Thanks.
So for our audio only listeners, that was a video of a sled malfunction from this past weekend, and Dave expertly, as he recognized he was going too fast for the portion of his run that he was in, he got out of the throttle. What would you say, Adam? 40, 50 feet before the sand pile at the end of the track?
Man, it looked like halfway down that
Yeah.
track. So I mean, he
Yeah, if he would have, I probably would
It
have
was-
been an idiot and stayed in it, and I would have totaled my tractor and got sweet air on the backside of the sand pile, and then Bruce would be sitting here talking about me instead, and I'd be in the hospital. So I'm glad it happened to somebody with enough skill and intelligence to get out, because he coasted for like 50 feet or 100 feet, who knows, and kicked the tractor sideways right at the end, and the side kind of went into the sand pile, and that's a rough deal when you see that, but it's a good thing when it can happen to somebody like that, and very, very minimal damage is taken away.
Yeah.
From that. He just
I mean,
did a little.
this is nice. I can say that sled should not be pulling Grand National level vehicles, mini rods, or any Champions
Nah.
Tour mini rod. That thing was
Chase,
made for the 1990s.
You're gonna hurt somebody's feelings by saying
I
that.
don't. Well,
I don't know if I can
I'll
get
pull
behind
it if
that.
I have to, but that's not anyone that's. I mean, think about the amount of wrecks that we've all talked about collectively with that thing, that sled, and I I love Dan Nearpass. He was a nice guy. I don't know who owns it now, but that thing has no place in mini rod pulling at this level.
I think it was
time,
I think it was adequate when it was first built, but then you start to notice
in
trends with
1900,
it.
yeah.
I get to see. I've seen some trends with it. Only like, and that went for the other sled too. That single axle other sled.
Adam,
if you get it,
you're one of the best drivers of mini rod pulling. When was the last time you wrecked a mini rod?
On that sled.
The last time you pulled that sled. I mean, it's not.
That was at
some point.
Yeah, it was.
If you want to be serious about putting on one of these events, you're going to say, "Well, we probably don't need to have this sled here. It's a safety casualty." I
don't know. We see wrecks at Bowling Green every year, and I mean, it's hard to argue that isn't the best sleds in the business, right there, Chase.
I'm just saying, the data is in the data. The amount of times that thing hooks somebody, the amount of times they wreck proportionally, it's not even comparable. We all know this, and I don't mean I'll hook the damn thing if I have to pull on next week. I'm just saying, it's just not a good idea.
It's probably to be the one you're pulling, so deal with it.
Yeah, I know. I probably won't it.
No, I don't know. I just see it as I've never seen a sled go 390 feet. Maybe this was the other one, and they drag it back to the starting line, and they don't even put weight in the box because they can't. If you get too much weight on the back of it, then you can't move it. So there's a really touchy subject there. You either get the thing where you can't pull it, or it'll stop you, but there's a lot of dead dragging going in there. Fact of the matter is, it's good that we have a sled out there, but just got to be careful on it.
Pulling is pulling. Everyone's got to pull on it. You all know me. I'll pull on anything, rather if I suck or good or whatever. But like safety is a total another conversation. This is a safety statement I'm making.
Come on now.
Come on now. The last thing I'll tell you, it's just like riding on top of your bell housing. That's not safe. These sleds aren't safe either. But we haven't brought that up in a long time, by the way. But there's two of these single axle sleds I think that were ever built at a Grand National level. That one's still around pulling Grand National capable vehicles, and the other one got sold to, shout out to Litchfield, Kentucky, Grayson County Garden Tractor Pullers Association. They bought the other one from Mark Bingham, and it is in Litchfield, Kentucky, and they pull it every weekend from the first weekend of May.
You saying
the end of September.
You make test passes on it or what?
Oh.
No, I don't practice. You can't learn anything on that thing.
Sure.
You can learn what not to do.
But hey, we're pulling next weekend. Tyler was going to come with me. Bruce is instant. He's got to pass. Adam, we live less than what? We live an hour and 40 minutes from each other. Why don't you go with me to Florida and pull next weekend?
Because if I'm not driving, then I ain't going.
What do you mean? If you're not driving what?
If I'm not driving something, I'm not going. I don't have any. I don't have any of them.
I just saw your vehicle last weekend that was together.
Yeah. Hasn't been touched since I drove it off the track.
Neither has mine.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, so I was in
Good for you. That's because you got a superior program to me.
Yeah, real superior. I was in Modern Machine, and I walked in there, and I saw Adam's mini rod sitting there. I'm like, well, hell, there's his mini rod. He can go pulling. But
I was hoping.
I think
I'll leave it in there. You guys can maybe try to steal some shit from me.
Why steal it when you just take it?
I think that is stealing.
I don't care.
All right. Enough of this rambling. I believe it is time to bring on our full-time guest, if we say, for the show, which also happens to be another Canadian with a last name that starts with L. Chase, who will we bringing on? Look at this guy.
Oh, my gosh. Is that Ric Flair?
Look at that.
Right from the beach.
Right from the beach. Tommy, how are you?
What's up, boys? What's going on?
You got the sunglasses on. You're looking tan. Where are you at, buddy?
Lacey was supposed to pick me up on the way home, and he forgot.
No shit.
I'm not really sure where I am, but I'm south. Okay.
Are you in the 51st state?
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm not. Tom. Actually, I'm where I am. We're negotiating. Look at there. We're negotiating to be the 13th province.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Just saying.
So you're not gonna. So Tom is in Turks and Caicos on a 4-week vacation.
2 weeks. was supposed to be 1 week, but I haven't been able to find my way home.
Yeah.
What are you doing down there? Are you working, or are you just like what's your days consist of?
Well, you sleep in,
Yep.
and you go to bed early.
Yep.
You try to do something constructive through the day, which equates to, it depends who you're with. There's a couple representatives, one from Iowa and one from Wisconsin here last week, and we spent a lot of time just going over stuff. And sometimes it takes quite a bit to figure shit out. And then you have supper and go to bed, and you get up in the morning and do it again. And I don't really see a lot of people working, and the ones that are working aren't working too hard. So I don't want to embarrass anybody.
Well, what's the most constructive thing you've done all week long, Tom?
Constructive. Actually, define constructive and then answer the question, Tom.
Yeah.
I've been taking empties back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
How many
you don't get anything for them.
Tom,
how many languages? I speak profanity, number one, and English.
So you're bilingual, basically.
I'm fluent in both.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, for all the people that don't follow Canadian motorsports, we have probably one of the most historical Canadian pullers of all time, Tom LaRue, previously two-wheel drive puller. Out in the open, soon to be light modified puller. Is that correct, Tom?
Yeah, if everything goes right, I'm going to have a 2-engine tractor. I have the tractor. It's just getting it all together in time to get out and pull. I don't know where I'm pulling with it yet, because it's all brand new to me, and I probably should embarrass myself at home before I go anywhere else.
So this is a podcast where you can't really dance around questions. So where did you get the tractor? What all comes with it? What do you plan on running?
Boy, that's direct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have declined the invite if you didn't want to come on.
It's Boyd's tractor, Steve's tractor. I bought it with no engines.
It's green.
Well, it was green.
Oh,
what did you do? Did you spray paint it?
No, I took the wrap off.
Oh, so the frame was wrapped?
No, it's green on the frame. Fenders
so it's still
fenders
green.
were wrapped. Well, the frame's green.
In the U.S., it's still green. But carry on. You bought the Boyd's tractor.
Yeah, still green. Came with enough stuff to build a 4-engine tractor, less the motors, which we're not going to build it as 4 engines. We're going to build it as 2.
So what inspired this purchase, Tom? What was the little thing in the back of your mind thinking, I should get a hold of Boyd's and see what they want for that chassis?
When I was supposed to go to Adams to hang out for a week and drink,
he made wiser decisions.
We had the exhaust fall off our motorhome, and I needed to go somewhere where I could fix it because it burned all the airlines off.
Of course.
So we went to Boyd's, and I had my neighbor Pete with me, and of course Pete was intrigued with all the stuff that was around, and I thought that maybe him and Steve would make a deal, and he would buy that tractor, but I kind of knew it was there in the back of my mind, and I don't know, I just got thinking that needed to do something different. 60 trucks in a class is kind of starting to wear thin, and thought we needed to go in a little bit of a different direction, and Steve and I were able to make a deal, and it's a Canadian now.
Okay. How'd you do on the bartering, Tom? Did you beat him up pretty good, or did he hold his ground?
He can hold his ground.
Yeah. He knew what he had.
There's a reason those tractors haven't pulled in a few years. I'm just saying.
Now, are they both sold now, or did you try to go for the 2-for-1 deal?
No, I think that the other one is still there.
Okay.
And honestly, I personally think it's the deal of a lifetime. But me not being in that class, I don't really know that much about it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But somebody ought to pick that thing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There will be 60 in the 2-wheel mod class. Sorry, Chase.
What's that?
Did you offer to trade him a 2-wheel drive for a mod? Just out of curiosity.
No, we never got that deep. So listen, I know there's a call-in portion in this. Is it possible that we can block people?
Yeah.
Like if Billy Beers tries to call in, can we not take his call?
We might
Billy
have
who?
to take a call from
Billy Beard.
He might,
Yeah,
he
Billy
might get
who?
a pass. He might get a pass. Yeah,
You let him through?
yeah, maybe. But I mean, we don't.
You know, because
let's
I
not make
watched
assumptions.
when he was on here, and Chase recommended that the best way to do this show is you should have like 7 or 8 drinks before you start.
Minimum.
Which he didn't tell me in time, so I only got like to have 4 doubles. But Billy had his required 9 drinks before he went on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he was at capacity, but the people loved him, Tom.
The people love him. I love him too. Just don't
Yeah.
let him call in while I'm here.
Okay.
We won't do that.
We'll see what we can do on that.
Can you
I
even dial a
appreciate it.
phone?
Tom,
Probably
tell us what pulling in Canada is like. When I say what it's like, I know it's like a lot of levels of pulling. It's pretty competitive, but you know, the American people like myself and probably these two, not speaking for them, haven't pulled in Canada outside of St. Hyacinthe or Inwood. But so, like, what's the Canadian circuit like? If you had to explain it, and is it like a member state, or just take us through your opinion on Canadian pulling?
It is much like a member state. The only thing that that doesn't exist there is unlimited mod tractors and big numbers in classes. One thing you can't remember is that I learned to pull there, or can't forget, is that I learned to pull there. Ontario Truck and Tractor Pullers is the organization that I've been involved with for a long time. It's a great organization. I think we host 40 events. It encompasses 3 sleds. They, they have all classes except for unlimited mods. So, it's the one good thing. If any of you guys have ever been to Inwood, remember Inwood? We got some really good dirt up there, and it complements our ability to be able to pull.
Do any of those pulls go into Quebec?
The the Quebec Association has, I believe they have 2 of Vaughn's sleds. I believe they have a big sled and a mini sled.
That's right.
Their organization is little because they own their own sled. You guys still hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Wave at me if you can hear me.
Yeah, we're just mesmerized. Listen to you talk.
Yeah. Go on.
So, McCain,
Go on, Tom. We can hear you.
Uh-oh, Tom.
are you back?
Yeah, we're
Yep.
back, Tom.
We heard you. You're quite the entertainer.
I just called for my tech people, but you know what? It came back on. So
Yeah.
yeah, Quebec has a lot of good pull in there as well. The best there was when NTPA was able to come to Inwood back in the day, and St. Hyacinthe. Those were good times. Chase will remember some of it, and so will Tyler. I don't know if Adam did. Yeah, Adam, you got up there.
Oh yeah, I remember.
They
I
stole
remember.
Larry's truck.
I remember him stealing my dad's pickup truck up there.
Adam,
Yeah.
share that story. That's share that story. So my father, I was with my dad, early mid teenager, before I was 16, and I think it was just
Which I want to point out, that was the 1900s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
my
Tell
Half
the
my
story
career
about
was in the 1900s.
yeah, my dad and
Tell
my
the story
sister
about
go
your
up
dad.
there. My dad and my sister go up there, and it was just those two, and they were staying at a hotel close to the facility there, and there wasn't much drinking and driving going on, I don't think. But when they got back to their room there, they all went inside, went to bed, whatnot. Next morning, they get up, they come down, and he said, my dad's like, "Hey, Ashley, where'd you park the truck at?" She's like, "You parked the truck." He's like, So get the keys out. Got the keys out, start hitting the unlock button, and then they couldn't see or hear anything. They hit the alarm button, couldn't hear or see anything. And they start looking around, and they kind of get over to where they thought they parked, and there's a mound of glass on the ground there, and truck's gone. So miraculously, I mean, that corner of the hotel didn't have any cameras or anything on it. We probably think the police had something to do with it because they did absolutely nothing. The one cop actually said that thing's probably already in Saudi Arabia. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. And this this is back before you all had a hauler or RV. This is
this is a dually and
one mini rod, right?
Yeah, one mini rod, four-wheeler and trailer. The thing about it is you cannot buy a vehicle in Canada and drive it into the United States. So that was kind of the problem. They packed their stuff up. They packed 2 tractors in a trailer, and they put the 2 four-wheelers in another trailer, in my dad's trailer, and they pulled it with a Chevy Avalanche to the pulled it to the border.
That would make a good commercial.
Toby had a brand new truck at the time. He drove up there and intercepted the deal at the border, got him back across. But holy shit, they say that dualies, Cadillacs, and Corvettes are like the top things that get stolen up there. So actually, like the next year, Byron Dungy went up there and pulled. He used to pull out of Illinois. He put a kill switch like under the dash, and they broke into it, but they couldn't steal it because they couldn't get the power on. A couple years later, a guy's in the store, like ran into the store to get some stuff, come out, and the whole dash is ripped out of his truck, and he was just in there for a few minutes. So I don't think if they saw him coming back out, they're scoping this stuff out. But yeah, we got his truck stolen up there.
Needless to say, Canadian pulling fans and pullers seem to be quite the crowd.
Well, and maybe we can ask Tom about this, but apparently
They sure like Larry.
Yeah, apparently, I've heard some stories and kind of seen my own stuff when I went up there. I mean, needless to say, even Canadians, I don't think French Canadians and Canadians are different people. Is that true, Tom?
I'm a French Canadian, Adam.
Then I don't like you.
Are you different, Tom?
No wonder
you know I'm different.
No
okay, so somebody tell me this. Like, I've never been out of the state like
Have
that.
Have you ever seen anybody act like me?
No, very rarely.
Nobody. You're not.
You
even
know I'm
Canadian.
different.
You're not even Canadian. You're probably an illegal immigrant. But whatever.
That's why you're hiding out right now.
You'll be in a plane to Colombia next week.
Yeah. So I got to ask you. It was so awkward to me. I've never been you start getting up on that side, and all those signs change to French. And we drive all night. We get up there, and you get out, and it smells like chocolate brownies, or like a rich chocolate brownie up there. That's the most distinctive thing I could remember about up there. And I got on the podium one night, and they gave us all bottles of champagne to drink, or whatever. And I have to say, that was the best champagne I've ever had in my life, and I wasted it spraying on people. I was kind of upset about that. But
I got lots of good memories of the St. Hyacinth Pull. We had lots of fun there.
As
a
11-year-old to probably the last time I went was 18-year-old, that place helped make me a man.
Yeah.
No, seriously, because there's no people.
18 years old, you're drinking legally.
No, 11.
18. Yeah, 12. 12 legal.
I shouldn't say that. It wasn't that young, I don't think. But that was a huge pull, Tom. It was like Bowling Green type atmosphere. Obviously, it wasn't that many. It sucked getting there from where we live, but everyone with our team loved it, and they have great memories of that place. Does that pool still exist, or what happened?
Chase,
I'm not sure what goes on there anymore. I haven't been over there in years, but once there was a representative from the United States who couldn't cross the border because he had a criminal record, and NTPA dropped St. Hyacinth because one person couldn't cross the border.
Was it a competitor or somebody a little bit higher up than that?
No, it was a competitor. And I always said it wasn't fair because I crossed the border every weekend to go pulling. I didn't have a criminal record. And I'm not saying that, the guy didn't really have a criminal record. I think it was a DUI.
Yeah, but that's a felony in Canada, is it not?
I don't know really what it is, but I do know that if you got a DUI, you're not going back and forth across the border. Fortunately enough, I never got caught.
I think he did make it across the border and back. Maybe a little sketchy scenario there. Maybe in the trailer hiding between some stuff, but you got to drive through an X-ray machine. The border, it's open. That's
an unlikely story because he'd still be there.
Ask him about it. Ask him about it. You were just hanging out with him last weekend.
Oh, the representative from Wisconsin.
No. How about
Looking
sled?
back-
How about sled god? How about sled god from Iowa?
looking
I
back,
know
looking back,
nothing.
looking back at that place, it was a 4-day pull one time. I believe you're there 4 days for a few.
And you had 1 day to get from Chapel Hill, Tennessee,
yeah.
27 hours to Canada. It was miserable.
Golly.
I recall.
You
of
must
memories
have
that
went the
place.
long way, because I don't remember
You
it
know
being
what?
that long.
I blew stuff up at Chapel Hill in the pull off run. I won the pull, detonated the motor, broke the transmission, broke the rear end, had to change rods. Everybody's, see you guys, see you up there. And we're like, oh, yeah, you know, all
Yeah,
you
to-
guys.
Hospitality. Can I get another
rewind for a
drink here?
We actually beat
rewind.
everybody else there.
Come on.
I swear. Scotty
Rewind
Delt
this.
kept us going.
You finished at Chapel Hill on a Saturday, and they were pulling in out north of Montreal, Canada, on a Monday night,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You had 1 day to get there, so
It was miserable.
It was miserable at the time. But God, you talking about memories that
Well,
during that event, there was a lot
Tom
of shit
appears
that
to be on a phone call.
Brandon Simon's on the call-in portion here.
Oh, I thought
yeah.
it was Sled God from Iowa State. Don't tell that story.
Put that right by the speaker, Brandon. Put it right by
Yeah,
the speaker.
what's on your mind today, son? There's no church wine here.
Is that church wine? Oh God!
All right. Church wine.
Church wine. Tom, tell us about church wine.
Tom,
What
are
is
you
church
the
wine?
Canadian Prime Minister?
Yeah, the minister. He's gone.
Yeah.
That's the call-in portion of the show over.
Yep. Now you got to elaborate.
I believe church wine is something that Simon's brought to Bowling Green, and I maybe had a glass during church service Sunday morning. Communion, I mean.
How
At
was it?
communion. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, real good. Look at there.
Yeah.
Hospitality's working.
Oh man,
Tom,
you got her made.
we're going some major rabbit holes on churches in St. Austin. This is about you, the guests.
Well,
Tell us.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tyler. You know.
Well, I was gonna say, Tom, we need to step back to Adam's story when he said maybe the cops were in on it. Are the horse riding Monties a little crooked up there in Canada, or can they be trusted?
Oh, I don't think it'd be the Mounties, and you know,
Monties? What are they called?
Mounties, the
Mounties?
Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Okay, tell us about them.
But the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, I think, are like above the municipal or the city police. You know, like when the RCMP get called in, it's big. So you would have been like Montreal Police or St. Hyacinthe Police, whatever it is. So who knows what would have went on. But I can tell you one thing: Montreal is a port, and you know, containers get loaded with stuff all the time, and who knows where they go. So it's an ideal location. Lost connection again, Mackenzie.
Well, we can still hear you, Tom.
We can see with your
Your
mouth
facial
wide
expressions at all.
Yeah. I mean,
Hopefully we're gonna.
all I know is that if I was stuck riding a horse at my job all day, I'd consider stealing a dually pickup truck too. So, Tom having a little technical difficulties there, summoning his daughter.
Turks and Caicos Wi-Fi.
Let's just say that he's being a lot nicer than I think he would normally be in person.
Tyler, did you ever go to St. Hyacinthe, Quebec? I think
Yeah.
that's me the first time we've talked about this on that show. Like that.
Yeah, I used to make that run with my dad from Chapel Hill up to Canada. And when I say make that run, I mean I was too young to drive, so I just rode along, mostly slept, and then just probably complained to him and said, "Are we there yet?" You know, which is probably exactly what he wanted to be dealing with.
That's when he was modified pulling, right?
Yeah, unlimited pulling.
Yeah, unlimited. Yeah, sorry.
I think there was a little mini rod pulling in there too, because our local fair here, which I've never pulled at, had a chance to this year, and I didn't go. Your dad and Mark Stiggy, I think maybe Todd Boltman, Dean
Hey, I'm back.
Downing, they all drove back from Canada back to Evansville, Indiana, and they all looked like they were beat up. It's a long week.
Tom, you get talk about if you drink wine in church, your Wi-Fi goes out. When you talk about it, then your connection gets real bad.
He started talking about Trudeau, and they started throttling his internet.
Yeah, let's not talk about Trudeau.
Yeah, we don't like getting into
talk about
politics.
U.S. politics on here, but we can Canadian. Talk about Trudeau. We don't talk Canadian politics.
I do need to back up here because I never said anything about Bruce, and glad to hear that Bruce is doing okay because it was a question I was going to ask.
Yes, sir.
Neighbor Pete had a bad crash this summer and got a bunch of broken ribs, and he was a little while coming out of it. So tell Bruce he's got like 2-3 weekends. Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back?
Still here.
Last thing we heard is tell Bruce
2-3 weeks. Oh, you're here, Tom. We can hear you. Hi,
Yeah,
Tom.
you there?
Yep, we're here.
Yes.
We're here.
Yeah.
So 2 to 3 weeks, you should be good to go, huh?
Should be good to go.
Okay. I'll be sure to let him know if he's not still
Yeah.
listening. So
Hi, Bruce.
absolutely.
So where were we?
Going through the ranks in Canada, you pulled with a lot of guys that some of us know, some of them are not pulling now, some still are. Who were some of your heroes or people that you ran with back in the day up in Canada?
I didn't really have any heroes that I ran with because we were all kind of like on the same level. But like for us, the big deal was when everybody came to Inwood for NTPA's points final, and we would all go there and have a big party and pull. And for me, that's kind of where it started because I won Inwood a couple of times when NTPA was up there for their Grand National Points final. And that's kind of when we decided that maybe we better get a little bit more serious. But that was in the 1900s.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about St. Hyacinthe, and I never went to Inwood, but my dad, we were actually talking about tonight. At Inwood, Ontario was a blast of a pull as well. Explain that, because it wasn't there like a big hillside people sat on, or what was that?
It was in a riverbed. And it was like the best dirt there ever was anywhere.
And there's no pull that goes on there anymore.
No. I don't even know if Powers still own the property. But there was Warren and Dave Gray, Super Dave, and a group of guys over there who put that event on. And I think half of them are probably gone. So I don't even know who still owns the property.
Is that where
it still exists?
Is that where when it rained out they would have the mudslide down the hill?
Yeah, you could have probably done that. For sure.
Did you take part in that, Tom?
I don't believe I was drinking then.
Yeah. That checks out. That checks out. We've got a Nick Jacobs commenting saying, ask him about all the interviews and appearances in Toma this year, and he still has a club talking about him. Please elaborate on that.
I don't know Nick Jacobs. I don't know who that is. If I do,
you make a great prime minister.
Did you go to Toma, Tom?
Was that like in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think.
No. It was in Wisconsin, not Wisconsin, as they say.
Tom.
Is that where they like never pick up the garbage in time?
Yeah. I think that's it. All right, we gotta tell this story.
I gotta derail this conversation. Give me an interruption on this because hang on. I didn't even think about this until just now. So when did it rain out Friday night? I went to bed early, like a civilized, responsible person I am.
Wait a minute, I don't remember this.
No, I went to bed early. I got up the next morning.
Oh, I know.
No, and my cousin CJ, who's 5 or 6 years into pulling, not as long as me or my dad, Tyler. He just didn't know Tom LaRue. They come over. They come over to our trailer, and I'm up, and I'm a little more jippier than everybody else. And Tyler and CJ's like, Chase, dude, have you ever heard this guy named Tom LaRue? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, that's the craziest you ever heard of I've ever met in my life. And my dad said, oh hell, he must be back drinking again.
All right,
but it was like a folklore moment. Like, you ever heard this guy named Tom LaRue? That's the only context I'm getting. I'm like,
I don't think I was so ignorant to think that you didn't know Tom LaRue. CJ being new, he was like, do you know Tom LaRue?
You ever heard this guy named Tom LaRue? I've never seen no shit like this in my life. But carry this
Tom,
picture on the
tell
storyteller.
Cheers,
Toma,
CJ.
Yeah, tell the Toma trash incident, Tom.
No,
We
we don't have enough time.
We've already touched on the subject. There was some
Billy
cones
Beers
that
ain't over porta pots.
We don't have
You
enough
tell the
time.
story.
there was some
right,
cones.
Yeah.
There's some cones that landed on top of Rob Russell's rig.
No, we had nothing to do with that.
I don't know nothing about no cones. Who is
Same.
Rob Russell?
Pulling fans. This is after a rain out, by the way. So
Yeah.
rainouts are bad for everything. It's bad for the show. It's bad for chemistry in the pits. So carry on.
Yeah.
Put it-
Literally,
yeah,
when we
move
could have
Let's
pulled
move
the
on.
rest of the night. We could
There
have
was-
pulled the rest of the night.
There was a brief moment where I thought Tom might hit me in the face. We'll just leave it at that.
But he's not like that. He's French
Yeah.
Canadian. They're not like that.
We hugged afterwards, didn't we, Tom?
We certainly did.
Yeah.
I think it was at the back of my trailer. I can't remember. I think Tom came over to listen to some music and maybe hit the trash can a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I didn't know I could throw
something
something
happened.
that heavy that far.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it took so many attempts.
Yeah.
So
and then all I see is
really,
Tyler.
What really happened?
Tyler's got this trash can above his head chasing Tom's Kubota. And I've never seen a trash can get thrown as far as he threw it, man. He launched that.
But hang on.
And he
if you're
missed.
gonna-
He
If
missed.
you're going to tell that part of the story, what did I immediately
Okay.
do, Adam? I went
You picked
over
it
there
up.
and I picked
He
up all
immediately
of the
said, "I'm
trash.
sorry."
I picked up all the trash that came out of the trash can and I put the trash can back where it was.
And
Yeah,
this
I told
happened to
Tom
be
sorry.
another trash can
I
when we
helped-
walked over to
I
the
helped
next
him too.
destination.
Yeah. So I don't want any pool promoters to think that I was back there making a mess, not cleaning up after myself.
Exactly.
Everything up.
Yeah, it got
I'm
heated
what-
there. I think I turned the speaker down a few notches because I didn't know what was going to happen.
What else do we got? Is this it?
Just show over.
No, this isn't it. We'll move on though. We'll move on.
We'll give him a pass. We're giving him a pass.
No better way to
Oh.
meet a guy. Like, have you ever heard this Tom LaRue guy?
Yeah. Do you know this Tom LaRue guy? Yeah. Where are you going with this?
Tom, tell us how you got started in pulling. Like, tell us your journey and how you got into the sport.
My journey was myself and a friend went to a local tractor pull and said we got to have one of these, and we built an Economod tractor. Pulled it 1 year, and then I bought a naturally aspirated truck, and then the next year I built a truck, naturally aspirated. Then the next year it had a supercharged engine in it, and then it just went from there. I actually reached out to our good friend Joey to get some stats because I honestly don't remember half of what went on. I don't really remember even when we started out there. I do remember that I think we went to Inwood twice during Grand National Points Finals and won, and then kind of progressed from there and got going out. And so I don't really surface until like 2002 on the Grand National circuit. And we had 2 trucks out there at the time. And I think the first year I went out, I finished 8th and 9th. And then actually I got it on my phone here because I can't remember.
Oh, Tom's got stats.
Damn,
Stats,
Tom.
right? You know where they came from too.
Joey Frazier, right?
Joey. Do you want to know anything called Joey? Thanks, Joey. Appreciate it.
Or Dan Mayer.
Shout out to Joey and Dan Mayer.
Shout out to Joey. So in 2002, I got 8th and 9th. In 2003, I got 4th and 7th. But 2003, I won the Enderle. And I got 2 Grand National wins that year. In 2004, I was runner-up with Poison Ivy. And then in 05, Laskowski and I traveled together. And I won the points in 05. And then Laskowski went back on his own, and he won the following year.
That was the Poison Ivy, right?
Yeah. Yep. Poison Ivy was by far the best truck I ever had.
That truck's still out campaigning currently, right?
I sold it to
was
Larry
in Tennessee.
Dowdett, but I'm not sure if it's still running or not.
Douthit put a new chassis under his a few years back.
Right.
Why'd you sell it, Tom?
just because we felt like it had run its course. Dave Laskowski and I built another new truck to replace it, and then I did a count. I think there's 10 trucks out there that got my name on them, but I didn't build them all. I built some of them. Joe built Mackenzie's truck. Mike Harvey built the Poison Ivy truck and the Diamonds and Dirt truck that became the R&D truck. And the rest of them were built at my place.
What's the most challenging part about building your own pulling vehicle?
Taking the empties back.
How many empties per building a pulling vehicle do you think, Tom?
Takes a lot of empties.
Takes a lot of empties.
The most challenging thing about building your own pulling vehicle is time.
Yeah.
You can build your own pulling vehicle with some pretty simple tools. It's just time.
Yeah.
The beauty of what's going on today is that all of these pieces are available from different builders. You can buy this piece from this guy and another piece from somebody else, and you can put your own stuff together with pieces that are manufactured. I still say though, as bad as it is when you show up and there's 60 trucks, I still love the class, and I love that you can go out there with a 1990s truck and still win.
Right.
Chase has taken us to school last year.
How's he doing it?
Well, he probably doesn't want me to disclose his secret.
Say it.
But his secret is
there are no secrets. I tell him on this podcast.
he actually doesn't really know because Donald tunes it.
That's right.
And I was also supposed to ask if Donald got inaugurated, because I knew he was up for in the election there, and I wondered if he did make it through the inauguration.
Oh, he's El Presidente for sure.
Not Big Donald. You're Donald.
Yeah.
Donald
UD
Richardson.
Donald. There's
UD Donald.
Donald Trump and Donald UD.
People don't know UD Donald's involvement in politics. He's actually heavily involved. He flies very under the radar, and he'll probably be very upset of us even mentioning this. But he's definitely
it's probably something that needs to come out. He's not just a good fisherman. He knows a lot. And somebody said the other day he can't spell, but he can spell. I've seen it.
Yeah. He
knows a lot of words that start with F. He can spell.
He spells stupid really good.
Someone started the campaign to make him an influencer, and I think he's well on his way 2 weeks into it. Donald is.
I like that word, influencer.
Yeah, Donald the influencer.
That's what I think of when I think of Donald, influencer.
Yeah, for sure.
I can see that.
I hope he gets a seat in the White House.
Oh, he's tucked in pretty tight to some good people.
Think about what he could do for Canada.
Hey, we'd take him.
He would probably burn up all the fishing up there. I think you guys really enjoy the fishing. Did you do any this past week?
No, we never got out fishing. We were really busy.
Yeah, I understand.
With the representatives, that came down from the United States, and I had a representative also came from Canada, and things were pretty busy.
Yeah,
there was no time.
You took a pretty long hiatus from Grand National Pull, and honestly, how long was it until you ran the full circuit again this year? That was probably a 15-year break, if not more.
Yeah, well, 05. I'm not that good with math, which you guys all know that. To last year was 24, right? So 05 to 24. One of you young guys, what's the math?
No, we saw their math when they tried to add up stuff at the farm show. Just keep the math out of it. It took 20 minutes to say something. It took 30 seconds.
Yeah, we got to talk about that again. Yes. It's 1 year anniversary.
It's been at least 15 years. I had a really good time last year. I was happy to get out there and see my friends. And to me, everybody wants to do well when they go pulling. And I always said, and Laskowski and I had a lot of these trips on the way home, that I would be happy to go home dead last as long as I knew what I did wrong.
I'd agree with that.
And
that's a good statement.
The camaraderie and the friendship, and the garbage can race, like that was hilarious.
It was a race, all right.
haven't had that much fun in a long time, and you know that's what it's about. It's about the people. Last year I got out and I never got to Adams because my motorhome broke and he didn't have enough liver.
Oh,
And,
I got more than enough liver, brother. And we could have fixed that truck.
You definitely never been there before.
I guarantee you could have came down here and you would have walked away with more money in your pocket when you went up to Washington.
You mean taking back the empties?
That's Washington, Indiana, not DC, right?
Yeah, right, right, exactly.
I got it right away.
Yeah, when you unloaded that mod chassis, you should have looked at it in your shop, shook your head, and said, "I'm never going to financially recover from this."
Well, let me. One day I'll tell you. You know, you guys all know that I am married to the president of WAP, Wives Against Pullers.
Yep.
And she came out to the garage one day and said, "You're not going to put that together, are you?" And I said, I have to put it together. It's worthless the way it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You guys will back that up, right?
That's why you
in order to get rid of some stuff, you have to put it together.
That's right.
Just tell her it's an investment.
Yeah.
It is. Into the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's very kind of you, Tom, to tie your wife to the acronym WAP, because that's a big saying these days.
It's like an emoji that you really don't know the meaning of, and WAP around here is definitely different than your version of WAP.
With an A.
Yeah, that one does too.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, what's harder on your liver, going on vacation with pullers and your friends from the pulling world, or going to a pull with those same people?
Well, they can tell you that I don't act near as bad as a pull as I do on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually practiced.
I can believe that. Tom, there's a lot of men out there whose wives may not be big fans of pulling. How does a guy like yourself navigate that situation and get away dedicating so much time and money to it and still remain married? Let's hear some hot tips out there for our guys.
You got to go to Turks and Caicos for 2 weeks.
Yep.
You should do it every year.
Spend every January in Turks and Caicos. Got it.
Yeah, and you got to be like a loving husband and take out the garbage and plow the snow and do stuff like that.
Okay.
Remember anniversaries and birthdays, and
ask your kids to remind you.
Yep.
You know, those are key. And if any of you guys have got a issue, you can get your significant other to join her club.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have meetings. Sometimes they do them at tractor pulls.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind, Tom. Thanks. That's big. That's
if that'll help you guys, it's really all I got.
We don't have to worry about that, Tom, because I'm the only one that has a wife. Okay, so these two guys ain't pulled the trigger yet.
I'm gonna beat Chase. I'm telling you.
That wouldn't take much.
But you know what? All seriousness, if I didn't have the support, and I don't want to say that I have the support, my wife tolerates it, is what happens. And she tolerates it because she knows that I like doing it. And Mackenzie liked doing it. Mackenzie went with me. I thought she went with me since she was like 12, but she told me the other day it was when she's 8 when she started going with me. So she's as much involved in this as I am, and her husband Sean. So, you know, although Linda doesn't really agree with it, she doesn't say you're not going. You know, there's been lots of things that have happened as we went along that would make you question your sanity as to why you're doing this. But that's good, CJ. Chase hasn't found the right guy yet.
That's right. Yeah, that had to really work out in your favor, Tom, when you were able to have Mackenzie join you and take so much part in it. And so you can look at your wife at this point and be like, listen, I don't like doing it either, but this is just what she likes to do. So I'm doing it for her daughter and her husband. We're having fun. What else do you do?
There's no question that you can get addicted to it, and you can like let shit fall behind at home when you should be there doing stuff. There's no question to that. And once you get to 60, you start to see stuff like that. So I've like been seeing it for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
And, so the whole thing's got to roll together, no question about it.
Have you ever been afraid on the way home if maybe something didn't go your way, or you broke something that you were just kept from your wife, or were scared about telling her about it?
Never.
No, never.
Never.
So you've always been
wife's
transparent
amazing
with her.
podcast.
You've always been transparent with her on stuff that happens.
I've always been transparent with my wife. When we wreck shit, we wreck shit.
Right.
And it is what it is. We never kept track of what we spent to go and do what we did. It just was a part of it.
Well,
I did things like when Mackenzie threw the rods out of a motor, and I had the motor in the shop, and you take the oil pan off, Adam, and then you turn it back over, and all that shit falls out on the ground.
Yeah.
I took all of that and arranged it nicely in a nice little fishing tackle box on a piece of foam and gave it to her for Christmas.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this is coming out of your college money.
Yeah,
college
exactly.
tuition money.
We just kept working and doing what we like to do, and tried to keep everybody happy as we went along.
Right on.
So
if it wasn't for pulling, Tom, what do you think you would have taken on as a hobby and invested yourself so heavily in?
Well,
professional fisherman.
Fishing. I really enjoy fishing.
Yeah. What's the most satisfying fish you've ever caught?
2 fish.
2 fish?
One behind the other. My fishing partner's name's Big Mike. And me and Big Mike landed 2 big walleye, one right behind the other. I had to wait for him to land his fish before I could land my fish, and my fish finished second place in a month-long tournament.
Damn.
Yeah.
Tell us how big it was, Tom.
Yeah. You know how big it was.
Really?
You need more screen.
So Tom, if you're such an avid fisherman and you sponsored by Shell Rotella, have you ever asked them to go on a fishing trip with Jimmy Houston?
Honestly, I haven't.
Uh-oh, getting throttled again.
Mackenzie.
I like how when the internet gets... Oh yeah, we're there, Tom. Hi, welcome back. We can see you. You're good.
For a second.
Talk to us, buddy.
Tip up,
all right,
Todd.
you're back. You're back.
There?
Yeah, you're
back.
good.
Tip up, Todd.
Keep talking.
Keep talking. You're good.
Keep talking, Tom. Nope, don't hang up, Tom. We're good.
Oh no.
Tom, yep.
That was a
Tom,
really
yep.
intriguing question because Jimmy Houston's one of the most famous fishermen that I could ever know. Like,
yeah,
Bill
tell
Dance.
us the setup to that question if we don't know.
Who the hell is Jimmy Houston? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Country music singer.
No. Jimmy Houston, he's got the iconic bowl cut blonde hair. It was like Roland Martin, Bill Dance, all these, outdoorsmen and stuff. He's still like out there. Jimmy Houston, I'm lucky enough to meet him through Shell because he's still sponsored by him. And funny enough, he's actually sponsored by the local Dodge dealership here in Evansville, Indiana.
You know what?
Expressway Dodge.
I just looked him up. I definitely recognize him 100%.
Absolutely. He absolutely knows
Back
this guy.
again.
Tom, you're
Apparently
back.
the internet's bad. Apparently the internet's bad here, but I got tech support. Mackenzie's here.
The numbers went up whenever you got off, Tom. Just
No, they
ease
didn't,
back
Tom.
into-
Tom, fishing with Jimmy Houston. Adam's question.
Jimmy Houston, go.
Who Jimmy Houston? Who was Jimmy?
Yes, you know this man.
Thank you for saying that, Tom. And no, that was not scripted.
Tell Mackenzie to look it up on her phone, or if this is her phone, look it up on your phone.
Where do we go fishing?
Well, I mean, he lives in Oklahoma, but he hunts and fishes across everywhere. Like,
No, I don't know Jimmy, but I know Bob Azumi.
let's see here. I'll have to pull up a picture. You're gonna have to squint at the screen.
What?
Bob Azumi is the man, but that's bass. You know, walleye.
Well,
I don't
so
know.
is he. So is he. Jimmy Houston's like, he has a TV show, or did for years. Have you heard of people like Bill Dance, Roland Martin?
Yeah,
Those guys.
Send him my
Jimmy
number.
Houston.
Send him my number.
Well, I actually have his phone
I'm
number, so
available.
I could do that. But
Going
I
out
just
again,
don't.
Mackenzie.
I don't know
No.
how he'd accept it.
Tom, we can hear you.
Damn.
Tom, don't hang up. You're good, buddy.
Kenny, come here and stay.
It's gonna take a second.
That
That
guy.
guy right there. He's one of the most iconic fishermen in all
what
of
a-
the land.
What
Look
a
at that guy.
legendary haircut.
I've
Wow.
seen him. I've seen him from about 60,
I think
maybe.
it's going.
Yeah, we can
Am I
hear you,
with you?
Tom. We got your
Yeah,
back.
okay.
You're good. I've seen him from.
I'll keep back here.
I've seen him from about 30, 40 feet throw a fishing lure into a cup repeatedly.
Damn.
It's amazing. It's
That's
absolutely
impressive.
amazing. But, you really need to hook up with them shell people and say, hey, get me a fishing trip with Jimmy Houston.
All right, we'll put my name in, Adam. I'm available.
I got
just
his
checked.
I got his phone number, but I'm not one of them creepers
Kenny.
that just go up and texting people. I'd love to see. I enjoy fishing, but obviously a guy like yourself that has a love like that, I mean, he'd be an awesome dude to go on a trip with, I do believe.
For sure. For sure. We got Joe Etter checking in here saying, hi, Tom. Joe Etter here. Will Billy Beers make the first run on your new mod?
LOL.
Tom, what do you think?
You know, I made Billy cry there one time because he wrecked all his shit up at St. Hyacinth, and I ran over and said, "We're gone, right? Are you there?"
Yeah, we're here.
Yep.
Go on.
I said, "Billy, I know what's wrong with your tractor," and he said, "What?" I said, "The driver's an idiot." He didn't talk to me for a year.
No shit.
Hi, Billy.
Did he really not talk to you for a year over that?
Yeah, he took it personal.
What
maybe it
happened
was
now?
maybe it was when he wasn't drinking.
Well, it could have been that. How long did that happen?
I have no idea.
Every time he goes to sleep. All right. Tom,
Nice.
Another question we got by Mike Steffen. What does Tommy do for a living to support his hobby? Tell us about your day-to-day life and how you put that money in the bank so that you can afford to go pulling.
Tom's retired.
Well, tell us what Tom used to do.
Mulch and soil. Same as
How
Joe
does-
Eater.
How does one get into mulch and soil like Joe Eater?
I don't know. You just gotta do it. For us, it was a need. We had a yard that we were selling material out of, and we were struggling to find the right supplier. And I just kind of reached out to some of the sawmills, and I made some alliances. And we started out buying material. Then first year we bought one grinder, started grinding our own material, and I think now we have 7 grinders.
Oh shit.
And we do clearing but back then we used to do excavation jobs in downtown Toronto. And when we started this mulch business, then we just started working out of the yard at home, and we don't go and do too many jobs. We do a bit of clearing work in the wintertime just to keep everybody going. But it was just just the way things rolled, and one thing led to another, and we just kept going.
So because you and Joe Etter kind of do similar things, do you guys get together at polls and kind of talk industry terms that you can't really talk with other people and discuss various, approaches to things?
Joe and I do share information, and we do one thing in common that nobody else does, which you'll have to get it out of Joe Eater or Joe Etter, whichever one it is.
Yep.
Because my lips are sealed.
Oh, there's a trade
yeah.
secret.
Oh, top secret. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you have any hot dog stands?
I don't have any hot dog stands, but I'm getting some in Florida, right beside Joe's.
Oh, you're going to try to sling wieners against Joe? Nobody does it better than him, Tom. You're not taking him out.
I like what you said there when I was listening. Something about Joe's big sausage.
I mean, every time Florida gets brought up, Joe's hot dogs are the talk of the town. I want to have one someday. I can't wait.
Well, I think Joe has. Oh, look it. Can you guys see this? Look
Yeah.
who's calling in.
Answer it. Put him on speakerphone, Tom, and put it by the microphone.
Go ahead, Billy. You're the first caller. Oh, David Richardson's called, and there's some other guys. Can you see what this says?
The most famous man in polling right now.
You better read it to us. Oh, there's Billy again. He's trying to call you.
Careful, he might have his.
Hey, Billy. Hospitality. Can I get another drink?
Tom, how you doing? Hey, I just got off the phone with Donald Trump.
Go on.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with Trump a minute ago. Me and Donald Trump are good friends. I don't know if you know that.
I did know that. And I know you're connected here in Turks and Caicos because I seen your name on that loader.
Yeah, but I want to tell you one thing. I just got off the phone with him. I was very concerned about you becoming a citizen of the United States. And he said, if you become our 51st state, you are not allowed, because I told him I don't want you to be a citizen. So he agreed. What I need from you is your security number and your phone number.
All
I
right.
don't have your phone number on speed dial.
Billy, have you drank the required 9 drinks to be in the call-in portion of the show?
I'm sorry, I'm confused. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, listen, we're going to clear that up because it's in my the 3 questions. So we're going to clear that up.
Ask Billy when he's coming back pulling.
He's in the kiddie pool and they want to clean it.
Yeah.
The girls are waiting down right now.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for calling in. You're caller 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Billy Beers checking in there.
Billy Beers.
Caller number 3.
No
Hey, guess
practice
what you won,
podcast Hall of
Billy?
Famer.
Nothing.
Just
No
like when he
practice
came to
podcast
Canada,
Hall of
right,
Famer
Tom?
Billy Beers.
This is too much fun.
He won nothing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah, and we got
Nice.
Jeremy Yeager checking in here saying, I'm headed to Florida next week, and I'm looking forward to grabbing one of Joe's wieners while I'm there.
He probably eats corn the long way.
For those people at home that don't know it, Joe Etter has a delicious hot dog stand. I believe several of them. I say hot dog stand, but a restaurant that sells Coney Island hot dogs and a couple of other fine culinary developments that he serves to the fine residents of Florida, and everybody speaks highly of the decoration there. So,
Tom, you look a little red in the face there. Something wrong?
yeah, what's wrong?
No,
Tom?
Billy's still calling. What? I'm sunburned. Like I've been here for a year.
You need to call him. Tell him. You need to
track.
call and tell him
Billy
those are
come
collect
back?
phone calls. You can't receive them anymore.
I told the tech person here to tell him to text.
Yeah.
We can't receive calls right now.
He can't
When's
spell.
Billy coming
They
back?
can't spell. So
When's Billy coming back?
one of the things you asked me to have 3 questions. They're,
So we're going to move into 2 truths and 1 lie, Tom. Is that correct?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a portion of the show? How
I
long
can't
does this
remember
show go? Because this is like an hour past my
No.
bedtime
We
already.
got another half hour.
I can't remember how I explained this to Tom, so I don't know what's coming.
All right. Tom, this portion of the show is called 2 Truths and 1 Lie. You're going to read us 3 statements. 2 of them are going to be truths. 1's going to be a lie. You tell them all as if they're truths, and it's up to us to decide which one is the lie. Take it away.
All right, I got them wrote down here. I quit drinking for 2 years. I have a dual citizenship, and I had a full-time truck driving job before I had a driver's license.
I think the lie is the dual citizenship.
I agree.
You kidding
I'm
me?
doubling down. I'm doubling down on dual citizenship.
Me too.
Well, that was too easy.
Like this is the first time
Yeah.
we've ever came full gang. You're not good at this game, Tom.
Yeah, that was too easy,
Huh.
Tom.
That was
So-
too easy?
Tell us.
Well, I only had like 15 minutes notice, so
Tom, this is still a successful segment because now we get to ask the follow-up question of how did you have a full-time truck driving job before you had a driver's license?
Well, I was born in October, and I couldn't get my license until October, so I had to work that summer for my dad, driving a garbage truck, of course, because he needed a driver.
Naturally.
And I got my license in the fall, and when I took my test, the examiner said, "I'm going to give you your license because I know your dad needs you." That's it.
Does that mean you weren't going to pass your driver's test?
Well, it could be perceived as that, but I've had to pass every one since.
That makes sense.
Really,
so you used to drive a garbage truck then?
My dad had garbage trucks.
How many?
That's why he's so familiar with trash.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
it was probably sentimental.
That's
it was
not
probably
the first time I had to clean up the garbage.
Yeah, it was sentimental for you, really, in Toma when I dumped that trash can in the back of your Kubota. It brought you back to old times.
And as I remember, it smells the same.
Yeah. How many years did you drive a garbage truck?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. That's not so bad.
So that's why you could probably withstand the smell of that Kubota after Toma, right?
Hell, if they gave me $5, I'd clean up the place.
What was the most intense day you ever had driving the garbage truck? Anybody try and put anything through the garbage?
I had to call Joey to get stats. How would I remember that?
He's drank since then, okay?
That's like in the 1900s.
Yeah.
You know.
Funny. So Tom, obviously you've had over the years, you've had a lot of traveling that you had to do. I always like to know, do you have any travel stories that have like set out to you? I always we brought it up the first time. I brought it up 15 times. You know, Adam Bauer taking out a toll booth with his awning, and I mean, it could be anything. Over the years of traveling, go ahead.
There's been lots and lots of stories. Like we started out in a school bus with the back half cut off, like a lot of people did. But the one thing that I remember the most is from St. Hyacinth to, I believe we were going to Ionia. And myself raced Chase's people across the country. We had like a cross-country rally to Ionia. I think we got there within 10 minutes of each other with no altercations. But, you know, it was the true sport of it. That's what it was.
I mean,
this is the time I was driving the semi when I was 13 across the Canadian
the prairies.
Yeah, what do you call it up there? Not land.
Yeah, that's it. The prairies.
You got to have some good travel stories because you.
There's lots of stories, but
you have to drive a lot of hours to get up to a lot of places.
Yeah, Pete, my neighbor Pete and I put a lot of time together on the road, and you know, even Dave and I put a lot of time on the road, and we would, you know, you would always think that one guy's going to drive, the other guy's going to sleep, and then you're going to switch. It never ever happens like that. You're both tired at the same time.
Right.
So, you know, I think maybe one time Dave got into the truck beside us with my motorhome. I was in the back sleeping, and he called me and he said, "Tom, you better get up." I go, "What's going on, Dave?" He said, "Well, either this guy hit us or I hit him." I said, "How much damage is there?" He goes, "I can't really see." I go, "Is he loaded or empty?" He goes, "He's loaded." I go, "Okay, let's get out of here." Lots of stuff like that happened.
How did that story end, Tom?
That was the end of the story.
And there's some guys.
We were smoking gone.
Is he loaded or empty? He's loaded. Then get the hell out of there.
You're an amazing guest, Tom. This is
we can beat him.
Did you ever leave to go to a pull and not make it to that pull because of a breakdown?
Never.
No.
I fixed lots of stuff on the side of the road, but that was just a normal day.
Yeah.
Used to doing that for work. So, No, we never not made a pull because we were broke down.
Yeah, coming from a guy that used to drive a garbage truck at
That's
age
right.
9,
At
like yourself.
15 actually.
Yeah, 15. Okay, close enough.
You should name your 2-engine tractor the garbage truck.
No, you know what we're gonna call it? I got a video. I'm gonna send it to you. Obviously you won't be able to put it on here, but actually it's on LaRue Pulling face page. And it is of my grandson. And if you watch the video, you will see that he is all gas and no brakes. And that's what we're gonna call the tractor.
All gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes.
I love it. I would imagine sticking with the name, then you actually won't put brakes on the tractor. Is that correct?
I don't know if it has any on it or not. I never looked.
You don't need those to win pulls, do you, Tom?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Not a two-wheeler for damn sure.
Tom, can you read CJ's comment there on the screen?
I can read it.
What does that say?
Remember, it's a podcast. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Now Billy Beers is calling Chase.
I'm not really sure, CJ. I think probably one would do. Most men.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
We got a couple questions popping up here. Do you know a Jeff McClucken?
Jeffrey McGugan.
Okay. What about the Ranger and picnic table rides to Rock Garden Trip? What does that mean?
Hey, tell me, Jeffrey, you'll have to refresh me.
Uh-oh.
Ranger and the picnic table.
He's
rides
drank
to
since
the Rock
then.
Garden.
He's drinking since then.
Jeffrey, get on here and refresh him.
Jeffrey McGugan.
Okay,
That's
here's another one from one of our friends, Fritz Brick, which I know you know him.
I don't know Fritz. I've heard his name before.
Right. He asked me, did Tom need legal counsel and Turks? And I said, explain more. He said several years ago, his son-in-law had a briefcase cut out of cardboard.
Not this year. Thanks for asking, Fritz.
Not this year. Tom, tell us the story.
I got to get out of here. Like maybe they're watching this.
No.
So there's like small rituals that go on here. Thursday night is the fish fry.
Rituals, great word.
There it is. That is the picture. That's my counsel, Otto Ottenhoff, with the pizza box. I think he's watching in the other room. So we went to the fish fry, and I took 2 loads of kids there. 2 of them were my kids, and then there was 4 kids that they met at the place where we were staying. So I took them there in 2 loads because we just had a little shitbox car. I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was a smart thing to do, responsible.
Yeah.
So when it was time to leave, they all decided they could fit in the car. So there was 8 of us in the car. On our way back, they had new police here, and I think the reason we got pulled over is because the car only had 1 headlight and no taillights. But they chased it. Yeah, they chased us into our destination, and I got a ticket for overcrowding.
Oh.
So I actually went to court the next day to pay the ticket because Linda told me, shut your mouth, go pay the ticket.
Yeah.
The ticket was $350 of your dollars.
Ooh.
And when I went there, the clerk, I gave her the ticket, and I had my legal representation with me.
With that cardboard box?
Yeah, with this box. And the clerk said, do you want to see the judge? And I told her the story. No, I was told to come down here, shut my mouth, pay the ticket, because she didn't want to get pulled out of the lineup tomorrow and we're trying to leave here.
Yeah.
So she said, again, are you sure you don't want to see the judge? And I said, do you think the judge wants to see me? And she said, well, let me go ask him. So she came back and said, you guys need to come back at 1 o'clock.
Oh.
So we left, came back at 1 o'clock, went in, and the judge wouldn't let me bring my counsel with me into the box.
Very
And
unfortunate.
He said, what happened? I said, well, we went to the fish fry, and there was some drunk kids there, and I thought it was my duty. Well, then they were from our hotel, and I thought it was my duty to get them home. And he said, yeah, good on you. Case dismissed. But I didn't tell him I took him.
So you got out, no ticket.
No ticket.
What did you tell your wife that's what happened?
My wife knew.
So you told her it was a good idea to disobey her and not shut your mouth and go in front of the judge.
Right. Well, I said it was the clerk's idea. Wasn't my idea.
Okay.
You know, because I wouldn't just like go against what she said.
Of course
I
not.
wouldn't do that.
Never.
No.
Yeah.
So that's the story. Thanks, Fritz.
So as long as we got these things going, bringing up old stories, I got messages rolling into my phone at a pretty good
I'll bet
clip
you
right
do.
now. So
from Billy?
No, these are more from like David Richardson, Lisa Peterson. We're gonna hit back on the one I just asked you. Jeff said Sean's bachelor trip with the rock crawlers.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Well,
Yeah.
you explain maybe?
Tell us what happened.
I think they had a picnic table in the back of a trailer, and we were towing it with a Kubota. You know, just regular stuff.
Oh, that's Bowling Green stuff. That's normal.
Yeah, normal stuff.
David
Does David have a good question? What number caller is it?
He's like number 3 on my list here. Ask him if he ever lost or couldn't find his fire suit when it was time to pull.
Ask him if his companion ever lost their brassiere.
I'm pretty sure he heard that. We're just waiting on a response.
What does brassiere mean, Tom?
It's French.
It's like it's French.
A brawl,
yeah, one of them
chase.
Brassiers.
Yeah. I've heard about those things.
Or in German terms, it's called holds 'em from flopping.
Holds him from flopping. That's good. Is Donald going to call in?
Oh no, we're getting there. So. We got another one. We got another one here.
Tom,
hang on.
I have another one I got to throw out here.
Tom, did you lose your fire suit at a pull?
I think all the fire suits were lost for a short period of time. But the guy who almost went to the line without a fire suit was David.
Tell us the story. I've never heard this one, actually. That was probably a reason I didn't hear it, because you threw out German words for brawls. Tell me what's the story.
Oh, man. I think, what was the guy's name who used to go with you guys?
It's a new one every week. They couldn't go to Canada and pull right now because all their teams had DUIs.
Before Donald. Way before Donald.
Well, they all have nicknames, so...
He sat up all night and drank whiskey with Jimmy. My Jimmy.
Oh, Patty.
Back during then.
He's actually a family man he's actually married now with a wife and a beautiful family and kids. He has a real name, but just call him Patty for the show's purposes.
Yeah. Tell us about Patty, Tom.
With Jimmy and Patty, I think, stayed up all night drinking whiskey. And I'm not really sure how the fire suits all got lost, but somehow they did. Yeah, and I think I ended up with them. Some of them anyway.
Unwillingly knowing or what?
I really had nothing to do with it. I found them and returned them.
You gotta finish the story.
just like the sign at Toma. You know, I found it and returned it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Got another one here. Lisa Peterson wants to know, ask, is the one kid still in the trunk?
He was for a while. But I think he's gone now.
What is this?
Ask her if she's coming back to get me. Why'd she leave me here?
Tom, did you lock somebody in the trunk of a car?
There was a kid still in the trunk after the police left.
The judge didn't know about that one?
He didn't know about.
I love it. All right, Tom.
You made it past Billy Beers. That was the best. Well, actually, the best Canadian we ever had in the show. The only one we ever had.
Billy? Awesome. Yeah, Billy is. Billy is a Canadian. Doesn't he live in Vermont?
I've heard rumors that he's Canadian, so that checks out for sure.
I think he is. Partially
all right,
Canadian.
We we got a little segment that we call the rapid fire segment, where I just peel through about 10 or 12 questions. You can just give us a quick answer. No need to elaborate with long-winded answers. If there's anything that stands out to us, maybe we'll come back to it. But we'll just
can I like bring in help? Mackenzie.
Oh, I don't think you'll need help, Tom, but you may bring in help if you'd like.
All right. I probably should bring in help.
So,
in case I have to ask. Mackenzie, come and help me.
Some of them are even multiple choice, Tom, so they're real easy. What has been more rewarding, raising children or having grandchildren?
Grandchildren.
As a Canadian citizen, do you own any handguns?
No.
What tractor puller has been the most stereotypical American that you've ever met?
I don't know what that means.
You know how Americans have a persona, about them.
Would you say Billy has a persona?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good answer. Good answer.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Would you rather live with a barnyard of animals in your house or live in the barn with animals?
Live in the barn.
Who do you think would prepare a better stack of delicious pancakes, Vaughn or Adam Bauer?
Vaughn.
If you had 1,000 grapes in front of you and got $25,000 for every one that you ate, but one of them was poisoned and would kill you, how many would you eat before stopping?
Oh, I would have to go with none.
That's a pretty good call. Where have you gotten into the most trouble? Canada, United States, or other?
Canada.
Who would you rather sing a duet with in karaoke, Lisa Peterson or Lori Bauer?
Why couldn't I have them both?
You got to pick one, Tom. You can't have everything.
And you're gonna
be Lori.
Oh,
be Lori.
sorry, Lisa.
What song?
Sorry,
would
Lisa.
It be? What song would it be?
Train to Halifax.
Okay. What is the most romantic thing you've ever done?
Can we skip this one?
Yeah, we can skip this one. Could you beat fellow Canadian puller Dave Lacey in a Super Troopers style maple syrup chugging contest?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you rather make your own clothing for the rest of your life or prepare all of your own food for the rest of your life?
Prepare my food.
What tech official would you trust the most to install a ceiling fan above your bed blindfolded?
Earl.
That's a good choice, Tom. And lastly, who would you prefer build your grandkids a swing set? Brian Knox or Larry Peterson?
Ooh. I'd have to go with Brian.
That's fair. He builds a lot of good things. Tom, that's it. That's the rapid fire segment. You did great.
Thanks, guys. Chase, good work.
Hey,
you guys are.
It's not over.
You're not leaving the show. Whoa. What are you
10 more minutes. Nope. We're forcing you through it.
You have no idea. Old people got to go to bed.
No, you got to feed, don't you, Tom?
I do.
The fans are hitting their
Tom, do you want to?
Tom,
Tom, do you want to go use the restroom and then we can finish?
No, let her go.
Okay.
Right. I have a serious question for you because
you've really brought the heat, Tom.
Yeah, you have. If you were in charge of the sport of pulling, what is one of the things that you do to make our sport better?
More money.
Money.
How do we get that?
How do you do that?
Chase.
Oh?
I don't have it.
You're on the right track.
Okay.
In what way? Intel, what do you mean?
I mean, you're betting things.
Winning the 2-wheel drive points don't pay for the sport.
No, you're right. It doesn't pay for nothing.
So I have one here, Tom. Do you sell trucks on the side?
Do I sell trucks? What?
It's amazing whenever you have celebrities on the podcast. I get random numbers texting me. They said, ask Tom if he sells trucks on the side. Trust me.
Absolutely, I'll sell a truck.
So you don't sell trucks on the side. All right. I thought there was a good story coming with that.
There's no good story, Tom, about you trying to sell a truck?
Not that I'm aware.
That's fair. Okay.
Tom, what's your plans for 2025 pulling season?
I would have to say 2025 sees me pulling at home with the OTTPA. As much as I do like to come over with putting this new tractor together, things are going to be busy, and we need to spend some time at home trying to figure stuff out. And I need to be there to support my group for this year anyway, until we see how things go.
So it's called the OTTPA?
Yeah, the Ontario Truck and Tractor Pullers.
When is their season? How long does it last? Is it every weekend all summer? Or you said 40 events. I was actually going to ask that earlier. What does that mean?
There's 40 different events that encompass the 40 or the. I'm not sure how many different classes there is there, but like not every class pulls at every event. But like an Economod tractor pulls like 20 times, and a 4-wheel drive truck will probably pull 20 times. So there's 40 different events. Not that all go to all, but I'll probably be included in more than a dozen of them. So I will try to get out as much as I can, but I think that my focus is going to be there this year with the new tractor.
How far of a drive is a typical event for you, out of curiosity?
Oh, it's typically about 2 hours if we're with the OTTPA.
Thanks for keeping it going there.
I was actually really interested in hearing
Tom must not have liked that question.
He may have pissed on his phone, and because he's about to pop.
Yeah, poor guy. I know my bladder is about to burst, and I've been watching him get refills after refills.
Right.
So that guy has got to be bursting at the seams.
I want to ask him, this guy, okay, so my dad got hooked on this Canadian whiskey a few years back from some buddies up there that pull the Cochrane bunch.
two-wheel drive pullers.
Yeah, two-wheel drive pullers. Apparently back in the day, they would come down there for the party. They made their run. They go back to here we go. All right.
Tom's back.
Apparently,
Tom,
the
I
internet's not that good here.
I asked the question: How far is most pulls from you? You know, the furthest one that you go to with OTTPA.
Well, I liked what Joe and David said about getting to the top of Florida in 18 hours. It was 16 and a half hours from Rockwell to home. Give it.
When you're pulling in Ontario, though, how far, like, perspective?
Yeah, 3-4 hours.
So it's like a state level. And then the last one I had here, if I'm an American pulling fan but want to go take in the best Canadian pulling experience for the weekend, where and when is that event? Just the best Canadian experience to watch pulling.
There's lots of good events. Enderle holds a huge event that encompasses most of the classes. Our own pull at home at Uxbridge is a good pull. I can't think of where else I would say.
What was the first one you said?
Enderle.
Enderle. That's in Ontario.
Enderle, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Cool. Is it? They are most pulls multiple days, like the states.
Most of them are one day.
1 day. Gotcha.
Yeah.
No multiple day hooks.
All right, Tom.
Much. But they do try to back things up, Friday here and Saturday there. But when it's only 3 or 4 hours away, I hear people come to the meetings and they complain that it's too far away to travel. And I think about how far Pete had to drive us home from Rockwell, Iowa. He was pretty tired.
Yeah.
So, Tom, I feel pretty disheartened this year when you came to Bowling Green and you had like 9 fists of Gibson's Finest. And my dad was like the biggest advocate for that whiskey, and he just thought it was the best thing in the world and everything. And we've about mowed down at least 8 of those fists now, which is very good whiskey. But you proceed to tell me that stuff is like the cheapest shit you can buy in Canada.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the cheapest shit you can buy, but personally, I would drink 40 Creek now.
Okay.
Is Niagara whiskey, and but I don't really drink any whiskey. If I was going to drink something, to drink rum, Bacardi's white rum, and they won't probably give me a bottle either.
Yeah. Do you have a preference on the rum? You like clear rum or dark
white rum? White rum. Yeah.
Yeah. But
They
yeah,
definitely won't let you after watching this podcast tonight.
like
Probably not.
No, you've
Hey,
behaved.
I had to meet the requirements,
that's
Yeah.
right.
There you go.
right?
You've done well. You did not
Flying
disappoint.
colors. Flying colors.
Yeah.
So, Tom,
Yeah,
is-
no, well, the whole relationship with your dad was brought on by Gibson's whiskey, because I believe it was Roger Cochran who started.
That's exactly right.
And then whoever was going across the border had to bring Larry some whiskey
Every year. And then
Yeah.
Tom this past year goes out of the world and brings us like 9 bottles. And it's a hit around the area that I live in. Can you tell us a little story about Roger Cochran? Maybe the year that they won the Bowling Green, a session at Bowling Green?
Oh, Roger was a good guy. He was a lot of fun to hang around with, and your dad soon learned that.
The truck that they pulled was called More Whiskey.
More whiskey, yeah. And
In
back
a-
then,
in
it
a
was
bus that was cut off in the back.
Roger
right?
always had a lot of fun. He always had a pretty good crew of guys with him, and they had a good time.
Okay, so explain to me. I've heard rumors that this happened. I was far too young to remember. So Roger, it was either Roger or Roddy. I don't know who was driving. Maybe still Roger. There's, like you said, 40 so two-wheel drives in the class. They go out and make a pretty good run, right? Everything was going good. They go back to the trailer. They're boozing like crazy, drinking like hell. All of a sudden, somebody comes running back to their pit and like, "Hey, dude, you're in the pull-off with so-and-so." And they were already trashed. They were already done. Like, but he went back. I think they won it that year, and I think ever since then, like,
I wasn't there. I don't think I was quite on the scene when that transpired. But Roger had a pair of turf tires on.
oh
like
really?
You would have, yeah. He didn't even have a pair of cut tires on. He had turf tires like you would have on your mower for mowing the grass at the golf course. And that's what he won with.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. The only other person I ever really saw use something like that was Art Arfons. He used like a diamond cut turf tire. And I think they had way too much wheel speed to make them work. But that's crazy. It's really crazy. I just remember my dad saying they went back there. Oh, here's the story that gets me. So my dad goes over and meets with him. He said he beats on the door because he wanted to thank him for something or whatever. And some dude answers and he's like, "Hey, where's so and so?" And he's like, "Oh, he's staying at the Caprice Inn." He's like, "The Caprice Inn? He goes, "I've been coming to this pool for a long time. I don't remember any Caprice Inns." And he goes, "The Chevy Caprice out in the fucking parking lot."
The Pontiac Hotel. So Lisa Peterson just sent me a note, and she noticed you don't have your ceiling fan on.
No, it ain't that hot here. Ain't happening.
Is that what you meant, Lisa?
No, sir. No.
Is there a joke there?
I don't know if there is or not.
I don't know.
in my pole boys.
She just
Tyler,
she
me
just
and
said
you out of this one.
Adam's ceiling fan is off.
We'll talk again.
Yeah, we'll talk again.
All right, guys.
What a
Good job.
So,
Keep up
Tom,
the good
Tom,
work.
anything you want to ask us, or any final words? Anyone you want? You praised your wife plenty enough, but if you want to do it again, or anyone you need to, this is your time to talk. Anything before you sign off?
You think I praised my wife enough?
I mean, you gave, what is that club called again?
No,
WAP.
You know what?
WAP.
Without a good relationship, it doesn't work. And she always stayed home and took care of things while I went away. So we're losing our internet connection.
Nope, I can hear you.
Cheers, boys. Keep up the good work.
Tom,
Cheers, Tom.
thank you for joining us. Thanks
Thanks,
for
Tom.
everything. that
Enjoy
comes
your
to
companionship at
Good
all the
friend.
polls. You're always one of the first people there to meet us,
One-
and talk. And
One last thing, Tom. Give us a recommendation on who to have on next, and then we'll let you leave.
You gone.
Oh man.
Oh, you're back.
Who?
Oh, Tom,
Oh.
real quick, and then we'll let you leave. Who should we have on here next?
Well, I would say Billy. Why don't you have Joe Eater?
No,
We've
we've had them both.
Joe
We had Joe last
and
summer.
Billy on.
They're all
What
come
about
back again, but
what about Lisa Peterson?
Okay. We'll
think
extend
there
the
we go.
invite, Tom. Thank you for the recommendation.
we have some
All
momentum
right.
now.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers,
Thank you.
boys.
Cheers to you. Safe travels going back home. Thank you for your time.
Cheers,
ya.
Tom. Thanks.
Congrats on being the 51st state.
Yeah, soon to be 51st
He's a-
state.
That's not. We don't.
We
talk
don't
politics,
get
but that's
we don't
Canadian
get
that's
political
Canadian
on this
politics.
show.
That's Canadian politics. Well, I guess it's not, but
Love it. Tom's a great guy.
If
What a
he
guy.
could tell half
That-
the stories that he probably has, I mean, we could be on here for 4 hours.
He behaved a little bit more than I wanted him to, but I guess I don't blame him.
No,
I mean,
he's
yeah.
in all honesty, we're making him out to be a wild man. He is in some fashion, but he's also
a very
really,
wild man.
really good dude and
really good human.
he's
Anybody
awesome.
that has hung around with him at a pull, he has made their evening in more than one way. Like he's just a good time. If you're going to sit around and make empties to take back, as Tom says, you're going to have a laugh. You're going to have a good time. And that was just a small, well-behaved portion.
Yeah,
of what our Mr.
that's
friend
Tom
LaRue can
with
be.
the restrictor plate on. I was really hoping
Yeah.
we would dive in a little bit more into the trash scenario at Toma because it was
Yeah.
pretty wild what went on that night.
I feel like we should just quick tell it because
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
he's
problem
off
with
there.
not-
Tell the real story now.
the problem with not telling the story is I feel like some people may think it's worse than it actually is.
Probably so.
Adam, do you want to tell it?
One better way
You
to
know-
put down the bus is when he gets off
You
the
know
show.
what? I think what I just know that somebody pulled up to the back of my trailer, maybe Tom, and kind of bumped the trash can, as you say, and sent trash all over the pit. Now, this was pretty late at night, and things were definitely winding down. And yeah, it was late, and
The skies were almost beginning to get
it was
bright.
getting there. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of people out. The music was still playing loud, and me and CJ were definitely sober.
Yeah, me
Tom
too.
pulls up to the back of my trailer. We had just kind of shut things down, kind of were just hanging out a little bit. He smokes his trash can with his Kubota.
How fast was it going?
It sends, and you know, I just stood there and I was like,
I
and
did
he
not.
yeah, you didn't. You kind of, well, forgive me, Tyler, if I'm not wrong here. We kind of looked at each other with like a, hey, motherfucker, I'm not cleaning this up.
Yeah.
And he kind of knew that look on my face because I wasn't very happy.
Yeah. Adam
And,
intimidated him.
I guess so, but he backed up and he took off.
He did.
And about 2 seconds later, I see Tyler had grabbed another trash can, had it completely above his head like this, running. And one-handed launched this trash can. Never seen a trash can tossed that far in my life, ever. And this is, I mean, we're talking like one that goes to your waist, right? This isn't some little bit short trash can. He launches it, misses the Kubota. And I see him over there. He's kind of cleaning stuff up. Well, a little bit later, Tom had kind of went around our little circle there, and he pulls back into my pit. He kind of apologized again. And here comes Tyler with another trash can and completely
No.
dumps it. What?
The same trash can I threw. I picked up all the trash,
It's the same
brought
one?
brought it back because I had picked everything up, and I just dumped the whole trash can in the back of Tom's Kubota.
And he was not happy about that.
He was not happy.
He was not happy. I mean, luckily it was
Tyler,
slowing
have
down
you
because
and Tom LaRue ever had a real conversation in life before that?
Oh yeah, I've known Tom for years. So his
Yeah.
his daughter Mackenzie is very close to me in age, and so, I mean, Bruce and Tom are really good friends. You know, when we were kids, my sister and I, Mackenzie, would hang out with Dave Snyder's kids, and we'd all have a good time and whatnot. So yeah, I'm very familiar with Tom. Tom worked closely with Brian Knox on his engine program when my dad did as well. So I was well aware of who Tom was. So,
I
Yeah,
misquoted
so-
that.
and
moment that
Tyler maybe
CJ
had a
had
few
said,
beers
you heard
in
of this
him?"
guy, Tom LaRue?
Maybe he had a couple beers in him, and when he dumped that trash can in the back, Tom got mad. And
He
then
got mad.
he got mad. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. He got mad. And Tyler made a couple statements to him, and I think he kind of realized what had happened. Like,
Yeah, and it wasn't bad. Tom just said, "I want you to say sorry," and I instantly said, "Okay, I'm sorry." I said, "But you hit the trash can and you made a mess, and so I was just amping it up and taking it up another notch." So
yeah.
it was all
So
fun.
So there was almost a parking lot fight.
And then there was a
No.
mutual thing there where Tyler kind of picked up some stuff. We all kind of picked it up and put
We
it in the
did.
trash can.
I helped. We laughed about it. I helped Tom get the trash out of his Kubota. We hugged. We made up, and most importantly, we made sure all the trash that had made its way to the ground
Absolutely.
got back into cans, legitimately, and nobody had to pick up a mess in the morning.
And we are not responsible for the cones that ended up on top of Rob Russell's trailer.
No,
'cause
we
he
are
was
legitimately
pissed.
not.
He was mad.
We have hinted about that before, but hand on a Bible, nothing to do with it. So.
Well,
Of course, Mackenzie.
I want in the
and
future. I
saying,
won't go to bed early because I would not let that happen. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Oh, we know that because I don't even think you were anywhere near your rig when that happened.
Mackenzie says Tom says he wasn't mad and loves you, Tyler. Tom, I love you too, and I'll drink beer with you
We
anytime.
all love Tom.
Thanks for coming on, Tom. It was our pleasure.
Our
pleasure.
What
it
do
was
y'all?
awesome.
So it's been a bit. Obviously, the Bruce situation. We will get our stuff back going consistent on a regular basis. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the last month or so, but I'm going to continue to plan and keep having fun and bringing personalities. If you all have recommendations for who you want on, fire them away. We love. We have a list of people we try to contact, and also the fan hotline is always there for the taking. But I guess probably the next episode with Tyler and Bruce's situation, we'll probably just play everything by ear, to be honest with you. But we'll make an announcement.
I mean,
when the next episode will be.
At this point, I would say in 2 weeks we can plan to have a show at this point, and we're going to have to extend the invite to Lisa Peterson, given Tom's suggestion. I feel like so.
Well, 2 weeks. There's a big pull going on in Louisville, Kentucky, where we did a podcast last year. We're not going to make any plans, and if we do one there, it will for damn sure not be at that venue. But if we decide to do one, we'll do one somewhere, or we'll do it Tuesday that week. How about that?
Well, okay. I got a really good question for Lisa Peterson when she comes on, because she may have received a package at one point in time, thinking it possibly could have came from me, and I'll just have to dip into what that package was and who the actual sender of that package was. Because she blamed me for a long time about that, and I'm like, I promise I didn't do that, but it's a pretty funny one.
I wouldn't suspect you give Lisa Peterson a package or your package.
No, Tyler, I'm telling you right now, if you listen to the story and what it was and who it came from, you would kind of surprise you, because I don't think he has that kind of stuff in him. I didn't even know he could use an iPhone or anything to order anything and send it to somebody. I got blamed for it for a little while. It was not me.
All right,
but it was definitely funny as shit.
Let's not give too much away. I forgot the farm show was coming up that tight.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, maybe we'll make an appearance down there and do something. We'll see how it goes.
We already have a venue that's asked for our presence, so it's a matter of us just doing some planning, which we're bad at doing. The most important thing is our guy Bruce is on track, and then we'll get the word out there of when and where it's going to be. If it's going to be at the farm show, if not, we'll probably do something Tuesday night at the farm show, because it starts on Wednesday. And then, I think that's a good sign off potentially.
I think we ended there, gentlemen. Thank you for the
hold on 1 second.
Oh,
since Chase couldn't get the idea, everybody. The fan hotline. We really want you to call in and express any feelings you got, any guests you recommend, what's on your mind at any time of the day. Remember that number, 302-272-5360. Call, text, whatever you want to do. Give us some feedback. We really enjoy hearing that stuff. I'm sorry we didn't get to it tonight. Obviously, Tom was a great guest. We didn't have time to clip in some of those voicemails and texts. So please remember that number, 302-272-5360. Give us a call. We'd really appreciate it.
Our routine is coming back. We've been kind of thrown off a little bit, but our routine's coming back.
Exactly.
You know what I just thought about Lisa Peterson? The one time we've been stood up, I've been stood up a lot, but the one time we've been stood up in this podcast was a guy named Mark Megan. I bet we can have them collaborate together for a podcast because I know how close those friends are. Maybe we can. We always forgive whenever we're stood up, right?
There's only been 2 people that have turned us down, and he's definitely one of them.
Well, no, he didn't turn us down. He just no-showed us. But
that's right. That's right.
Jim at Weimers was actually a phenomenal.
He was
backup.
He was
that
great.
Was shout out to that show. He was freaking awesome. I still talk about that show.
Yes, sir.
Next week we got pulling in Satsuma, Florida. Mini rod pulling. Tyler, I know if Bruce's situation wasn't going on, you'd be there. Adam, I'm sure you got some project you can't come. But anyway, tune in, pull live. We'll be there running mini rods. They got 8 classes. Should be a good show. Really excited.
Mini rods. That's all you care about.
Mini rods, yeah. They have some other ones, but it doesn't really matter besides that, right? And then we'll make a plan the farm show week. We'll be back in 2 weeks, one way or another.
Is that pull in Florida going to be live streamed?
On Full Pull Live, yep.
Okay, I'll be sure to
next week.
I'll be sure to be sitting with Mr. Bruce, and we'll watch some mini rods then.
Yeah, it's pulling has potential to be a year-round sport if you can get a lot of things worked out, I think, because people like this in different parts of the country all the time from what I've seen. And excited to go in Florida, and hopefully it's warm weather. I'm in Florida now, but I'm going back home and going again. So,
right on.
Well, all righty.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
It's been awesome.
Give our man Bruce well wishes, thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
Big shout out to you for coming on with all you have going on. We Adam and I were not going to tell you when we were going to do this. We were waiting for you to do it, but
maybe that makes me a bad person that for the first day I didn't go there, but after being there for 13 days in a row, I needed a bit of a break and a sense of normalcy. So I'm glad we could.
Dude, you were sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, the first night there, I slept on the floor next to his bed, and the next 6 nights I slept in the chair next to his bed, just making sure somebody was always there with him. So it's good to try to get back in the routine.
Both of you guys are actually good guys whenever you're not in front of your cameras and your computer, but when you do that, you're typically jackasses. So
I'm questionable at best.
Cheers again.
So. Cheers.
Right,
let's end this. See you, boys.
We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Thanks. See ya.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice. Bye-bye.